Ladies and gentlemen, let me speak to you today about a powerful truth that lies at the heart of achieving the seemingly impossible. There is a divine principle that governs the realm of miracles and breakthroughs, and that principle is belief. The only way to achieve the impossible is to believe it is possible. Consider the very essence of faith. It is not merely a passive hope, but an active and dynamic force that propels us forward. When we encounter a challenge or face a mountain that seems insurmountable, it is our belief that becomes the catalyst for transformation. If you can conceive it in your mind and believe it in your heart, then you are already on the path to manifesting it in your life. Think about the great visionaries, the pioneers of progress, and the leaders who have shaped our world. They did not see the world as it was, but as it could be. They refused to be limited by the constraints of their present circumstances. Instead, they allowed their belief in the possibility of change to drive them forward, often in the face of immense opposition and doubt. Jesus spoke of this principle when he said, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can move mountains. This is not just a poetic statement, it is a profound truth. The mustard seed, though small, has the potential to grow into a mighty tree. Similarly, a small seed of belief can grow into extraordinary achievements if we nurture it and act upon it. When you believe that something is possible, you begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. Your belief creates a mindset that opens doors, fosters creativity, and ignites determination. It enables you to persevere in the face of challenges, to innovate when others are complacent, and to rise above the limitations that confine the ordinary. But belief alone is not enough. It must be accompanied by action. Faith without works is dead. It is through diligent effort, persistence, and unwavering commitment that belief is translated into reality. When you truly believe in the possibility of achieving the impossible, you will find the strength to overcome the hurdles, the courage to take risks, and the resilience to keep moving forward despite setbacks. You are not defined by your current situation, but by your capacity to believe in what can be. The dreams and aspirations that seem beyond your reach are only unattainable if you allow doubt to overshadow your belief. Embrace the power of faith and let it guide you to realms beyond your imagination. Believe that the impossible is possible and watch as doors open, paths are cleared, and miracles unfold. Remember, the only way to achieve the impossible is to believe it is possible. So let your belief be your guide, your motivation, and your driving force. Dare to dream, dare to believe, and dare to achieve the extraordinary. Belief acts as a powerful catalyst in the journey toward achieving what might seem impossible. When we truly believe in the possibility of an outcome, that belief becomes more than just a thought. It transforms into a driving force that energizes our actions and decisions. It ignites a fire within us that pushes us beyond our comfort zones and compels us to take steps we might not otherwise consider. Imagine for a moment the impact of genuine belief on our endeavors. When you hold a firm conviction that something is achievable, you approach challenges with a different mindset. Obstacles that once seemed daunting become opportunities for growth and innovation. Your belief fosters a positive attitude, which is crucial for overcoming difficulties and setbacks. It creates a mindset that anticipates success rather than expects failure. Belief as a catalyst also affects how you engage with others. When you believe in the possibility of achieving a goal, you inspire and motivate those around you. Your confidence becomes infectious, encouraging others to join you in your pursuit. This collective belief can amplify your efforts and enhance your ability to succeed. Moreover, belief influences your resilience. When faced with setbacks or failures, a strong belief in the end goal helps you persevere. Instead of being discouraged by temporary failures, you view them as valuable lessons and stepping stones toward your ultimate objective. Your belief helps you maintain focus and determination, propelling you forward even when the path is challenging. In essence, belief is not a passive state of mind, but an active, dynamic force that shapes our actions, interactions, and responses to adversity. It is the energy that drives us to pursue the seemingly impossible, transforming our aspirations into tangible achievements. When you harness the power of belief as a catalyst, you unlock your potential to turn the extraordinary into reality. The dynamic nature of faith is a profound element in the journey to achieving the impossible. Faith is not a static or passive force. Rather, it is an active and vibrant energy that propels us forward, shaping our actions and guiding our decisions. It is this dynamic nature that distinguishes mere hope from a transformative force capable of bringing about significant change. Faith operates with a sense of momentum and direction. When you possess faith in the possibility of achieving something extraordinary, it ignites a proactive attitude within you. This faith propels you to seek out opportunities, overcome obstacles, and pursue your goals with determination. It is not just about having a belief, but about actively engaging with that belief to make it a reality. This dynamic quality of faith means that it evolves and grows as you do. It starts with a simple conviction or hope, but as you take steps toward your goal and witness progress, your faith deepens and strengthens. It adapts to the challenges you face, constantly adjusting and reaffirming itself as you move closer to your objective. This adaptability allows faith to remain a powerful and relevant force throughout your journey. Faith also energizes your efforts and decisions. When you are driven by a strong belief in the possibility of success, you approach challenges with a sense of enthusiasm and optimism. This positive energy is crucial for maintaining motivation and overcoming the inevitable difficulties that arise along the way. It fuels your perseverance and creativity, helping you to find innovative solutions and keep moving forward despite setbacks. Moreover, the dynamic nature of faith influences your interactions with others. Your belief in the possibility of achieving the impossible can inspire and uplift those around you. It creates an environment of encouragement and support where collective faith contributes to the momentum needed to achieve shared goals. The energy of faith becomes a catalyst for collaboration and collective effort, amplifying the impact of your pursuits. In essence, the dynamic nature of faith is about more than just holding a belief. It is about actively engaging with that belief to drive action, adapt to challenges, and inspire others. It is the living, breathing force that transforms aspirations into achievements, continually evolving and energizing you on your journey to realizing the impossible. Visionaries and pioneers are the epitome of what it means to believe in the possibility of achieving the impossible. These extraordinary individuals possess a unique ability to see beyond the constraints of the present moment and envision a future that others might deem unattainable. Their belief in what can be, rather than what currently is, becomes the driving force behind their groundbreaking achievements. When we look at the lives of visionaries and pioneers, we see a common thread. They are not confined by the limits of conventional thinking. Instead, they dare to dream of what could be possible and pursue those dreams with relentless passion and determination. Their belief in the possibility of their vision enables them to challenge the status quo, push boundaries, and explore uncharted territories. Consider the great inventors and innovators who have transformed the world with their groundbreaking ideas. Thomas Edison, for example, faced numerous failures and setbacks before inventing the light bulb. His belief in the possibility of creating a practical and efficient source of light kept him motivated through countless trials. His vision was not limited by the current state of technology. Instead, it was driven by his faith in the potential of his ideas. Similarly, pioneers like Neil Armstrong and the astronauts of the Apollo missions demonstrated extraordinary belief in the possibility of space exploration. They ventured into the unknown, overcoming immense technical and logistical challenges because they held a vision of humanity reaching beyond the confines of Earth. Their achievements were not merely the result of technical prowess, but of an unwavering belief in the potential of their mission. Visionaries and pioneers also exhibit a remarkable ability to inspire others. Their belief in the possibility of achieving the impossible has a ripple effect, encouraging others to join them in their quest. By demonstrating what can be accomplished through faith and perseverance, they set an example that motivates others to pursue their own seemingly unattainable goals. Moreover, their journey often involves facing skepticism and resistance from those who are unable to see beyond the current limitations. Yet, their conviction remains steadfast. They understand that achieving the impossible requires more than just belief. It requires courage, resilience, and the willingness to take risks. In essence, visionaries and pioneers teach us that the first step toward achieving the impossible is to believe in its possibility. Their lives and achievements serve as powerful reminders that belief in what could be is the foundation upon which extraordinary accomplishments are built. By embracing their spirit of innovation and persistence, we too can transcend limitations and realize our own remarkable potential. Jesus' teachings offer profound insight into the power of belief in achieving what seems impossible. One of his most compelling messages is encapsulated in the metaphor of the mustard seed. Jesus said, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can move mountains. This powerful statement is more than a poetic expression. It is a foundational principle that underscores the transformative power of belief. The mustard seed is used as a symbol because of its minuscule size compared to its potential for growth. Despite its tiny stature, it can grow into a large, thriving tree. This analogy illustrates that even a small amount of genuine faith can lead to extraordinary outcomes. It emphasizes that the potency of faith is not in its quantity, but in its sincerity and depth. Jesus' teachings encourage us to understand that faith is not limited by external circumstances. Even when faced with seemingly insurmountable obstacles, a belief in the possibility of overcoming them can bring about remarkable changes. The key is not to be overwhelmed by the size of the problem, but to focus on the potential of faith to effect change. In the New Testament, we see numerous examples of how faith enabled individuals to overcome significant challenges. For instance, Jesus healed the sick, restored sight to the blind, and raised the dead, all through the power of faith. These miracles were not just acts of divine intervention, but demonstrations of what can be accomplished when belief aligns with divine purpose and action. Furthermore, Jesus often highlighted the role of faith in personal transformation. He spoke of the importance of believing in oneself and in the divine possibilities available to us. By encouraging people to have faith in their potential and in God's support, Jesus empowered them to step beyond their limitations and pursue what might seem unattainable. Jesus also emphasized the importance of not letting doubt undermine our faith. In his teachings, doubt is portrayed as a barrier that can hinder the realization of our potential. By cultivating unwavering belief and focusing on the possibilities rather than the impossibilities, individuals can transcend the constraints of doubt and achieve what once seemed beyond reach. The dynamic aspect of Jesus' teachings is that they are not confined to religious or spiritual contexts, but apply to every aspect of life. His message about faith being able to move mountains invites us to apply this principle in our personal, professional, and societal endeavors. It challenges us to envision greater possibilities and act with the conviction that our belief can indeed transform our realities. In summary, Jesus' teachings about faith underscore the profound impact of believing in the possibility of achieving the impossible. Through the metaphor of the mustard seed, he illustrates that even a small but sincere belief can lead to remarkable outcomes. By embodying this principle, we align ourselves with the transformative power of faith, enabling us to overcome challenges and achieve extraordinary things. When faced with obstacles, our initial reaction might be to view them as barriers to our goals. However, if we approach these challenges with the belief that achieving the impossible is possible, we can transform obstacles into opportunities for growth and success. This shift in perspective is crucial in realizing our potential and making the seemingly unattainable a reality. Obstacles often appear as daunting barriers, but they hold within them the seeds of opportunity. When we encounter a challenge, it forces us to rethink our strategies, develop new skills, and explore innovative solutions. These experiences push us out of our comfort zones and compel us to adapt and evolve. By believing in the possibility of overcoming these challenges, we empower ourselves to find creative ways to turn them into stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. Consider the stories of many successful individuals who have turned significant obstacles into opportunities. For instance, Thomas Edison faced countless failures before perfecting the electric light bulb. Each failure was not merely a setback, but a chance to learn, refine his approach, and ultimately achieve his goal. His belief in the possibility of success kept him motivated and open to the lessons embedded in each obstacle. Similarly, in the realm of business, many entrepreneurs have encountered formidable challenges. Steve Jobs, for example, faced numerous setbacks, including being ousted from Apple, the company he founded. However, his belief in the potential of his vision led him to start new ventures and eventually return to Apple, where he played a pivotal role in its resurgence and innovation. Jobs' ability to view obstacles as opportunities to innovate and grow was a key factor in his success. Obstacles also provide valuable feedback. They reveal gaps in our approach, highlight areas for improvement, and offer insights that might not be apparent in smooth sailing. By embracing obstacles as opportunities for learning and growth, we can refine our strategies, strengthen our resolve, and enhance our overall approach to achieving our goals. Furthermore, obstacles often lead to unexpected breakthroughs. When we persist through difficulties and maintain our belief in what is possible, we sometimes discover new paths and solutions that we would not have encountered otherwise. These breakthroughs can redefine our goals and open up new avenues for success. Believing that obstacles are opportunities in disguise also fosters resilience. When we approach challenges with this mindset, we develop a stronger sense of determination and perseverance. Instead of being discouraged by setbacks, we remain focused on our end goal, using each obstacle as a lesson and a chance to advance. In summary, viewing obstacles as opportunities rather than insurmountable barriers is a transformative perspective. It enables us to approach challenges with creativity, resilience, and a belief in the possibility of success. By embracing this mindset, we turn obstacles into catalysts for growth, innovation, and achievement, ultimately paving the way to realizing the impossible. Faith in action is the bridge between mere belief and tangible achievement. It's one thing to hold a belief in the possibility of achieving something extraordinary, but it is through taking proactive steps and applying that belief that we move from theory to reality. This dynamic interplay of faith and action is essential for transforming the impossible into the possible. Belief alone is a powerful starting point, but it must be coupled with deliberate and consistent effort. Faith in action means translating your conviction into concrete steps toward your goals. It involves setting a clear vision and taking purposeful actions that align with that vision. Without action, faith remains an abstract idea, but when combined with effort, it becomes a driving force that propels us toward success. Consider the process of achieving a significant goal. It begins with a belief that the goal is attainable. However, this belief must be supported by a strategic plan and actionable steps. For example, if your goal is to launch a new business, your belief in its potential must be backed by researching the market, developing a business plan, securing funding, and executing your strategy. Each action you take based on your belief brings you closer to realizing your vision. Moreover, faith in action requires perseverance and adaptability. As you take steps toward your goal, you will likely encounter setbacks and challenges. It is during these times that the true strength of your faith is tested. Rather than being discouraged, faith in action involves adjusting your approach, learning from experiences, and continuing to move forward despite obstacles. This resilience ensures that your belief remains a guiding force rather than a fleeting sentiment. Action fueled by faith also involves a proactive mindset. Instead of waiting for circumstances to be perfect or for all conditions to be ideal, you take initiative and create opportunities. This proactive approach demonstrates your commitment to your belief and your readiness to act upon it. By seeking out and seizing opportunities, you actively shape your path toward achieving the impossible. Faith in action also inspires and influences those around you. When others see your commitment and effort, it can motivate and encourage them to take similar steps in their own pursuits. Your actions become a testament to the power of belief and demonstrate how faith can translate into real-world outcomes. This ripple effect amplifies the impact of your efforts and fosters a culture of possibility and achievement. Additionally, faith in action involves continuous reflection and adaptation. As you progress, regularly evaluate your approach and make adjustments based on feedback and results. This iterative process ensures that your actions remain aligned with your belief and objectives, maximizing your chances of success. In essence, faith in action is the embodiment of belief through deliberate and persistent effort. It transforms abstract ideas into concrete achievements by combining conviction with strategic action, resilience, and adaptability. By engaging in faith-driven actions, you pave the way for overcoming challenges, creating opportunities, and ultimately achieving what might initially seem impossible. Resilience and determination are essential elements in the pursuit of achieving the impossible, and they are deeply intertwined with the belief that what seems unattainable can be accomplished. When we believe in the possibility of success, it fosters a mindset that is crucial for navigating the challenges and setbacks that inevitably arise on the path to extraordinary achievements. Resilience is the capacity to bounce back from difficulties, adapt to adversity, and continue moving forward despite obstacles. It is not simply about enduring hardship, but about using those experiences to grow stronger and more capable. When we hold a firm belief in the possibility of achieving our goals, resilience becomes a natural byproduct. This belief provides us with the inner strength to face setbacks with courage and to view challenges as opportunities to refine our strategies and enhance our resolve. Determination, on the other hand, is the unwavering commitment to pursue a goal, despite the difficulties encountered along the way. It is the drive that keeps us focused and motivated, even when progress seems slow or when we face repeated failures. Determination is fueled by the conviction that our goals are achievable, and it is this conviction that sustains our efforts through the toughest times. When we believe in the possibility of success, our determination is fortified by a clear vision of what we want to achieve and a steadfast resolve to see it through. Together, resilience and determination create a powerful synergy that enables us to overcome obstacles and persist in the face of adversity. Resilience helps us recover from setbacks and adapt our approach, while determination keeps us committed to our goal, ensuring that we do not waver in our pursuit. This combination of qualities allows us to maintain momentum, learn from our experiences, and continuously strive toward our objectives. The journey to achieving the impossible often involves navigating uncharted territory, encountering unforeseen challenges, and enduring periods of uncertainty. It is during these times that resilience and determination are tested. Believing in the possibility of success gives us the confidence to persevere, to stay focused on our vision, and to remain committed to our goals, even when the path is fraught with difficulties. In summary, resilience and determination are vital components of achieving the impossible. They are strengthened by the belief that our goals are attainable, and they empower us to overcome obstacles, adapt to challenges, and persist in our efforts. By cultivating these qualities, we align ourselves with the transformative power of belief, enabling us to turn our aspirations into reality and achieve extraordinary success. Defining potential is a critical aspect of achieving what may initially seem impossible. Our potential is not confined to our current circumstances or abilities. Rather, it is shaped by our beliefs about what we can achieve. When we believe that achieving the impossible is possible, we redefine our own potential and open up new possibilities for growth and success. Potential is often viewed through the lens of our existing skills, resources, and experiences. However, this perspective can be limiting. True potential extends beyond our current capabilities. It is the sum of what we can become through growth, learning, and determination. By believing in the possibility of achieving extraordinary goals, we expand our vision of what is achievable and set new standards for ourselves. When we embrace the belief that the impossible is possible, we challenge the boundaries of our potential. This belief inspires us to develop new skills, seek out opportunities, and push beyond our comfort zones. It encourages us to take risks, experiment, and innovate, all of which are necessary for reaching new heights. Our potential is not a static measure, but a dynamic and evolving concept that grows in response to our belief in what we can achieve. Believing in the possibility of our potential also shifts our mindset from one of limitation to one of possibility. Instead of being constrained by self-doubt or external limitations, we approach challenges with a sense of possibility and openness. This mindset enables us to see opportunities where others see obstacles and to persist in our efforts despite setbacks. By redefining our potential in this way, we unlock the power to accomplish goals that once seemed out of reach. Moreover, this belief in potential influences our actions and decisions. When we define our potential based on what we believe is possible, we set higher goals and pursue more ambitious projects. This proactive approach drives us to seek out resources, build networks, and engage in continuous learning. Our actions become aligned with our belief in our potential, creating a synergy that propels us toward achieving remarkable outcomes. The process of defining and realizing our potential is deeply personal and varies from individual to individual. It involves recognizing and overcoming self-imposed limitations and external constraints. By fostering a belief in the possibility of our potential, we can redefine what success means to us and create pathways to achieve it. In summary, defining potential is a transformative process that is significantly influenced by our belief in what is possible. By believing that achieving the impossible is within our reach, we expand our vision of our potential, embrace opportunities for growth, and align our actions with our aspirations. This belief empowers us to redefine our limits, pursue ambitious goals, and ultimately realize our extraordinary potential. Miracles and possibilities are deeply connected to the belief that achieving the impossible is within our reach. When we embrace the idea that extraordinary outcomes are possible, we open ourselves up to experiences and opportunities that transcend ordinary limitations. Miracles often occur when we surpass conventional expectations and embrace a higher vision of what can be achieved. These are moments when the improbable becomes reality, often defying natural laws or logical explanations. The root of such miracles lies in a deep-seated belief that transcends the ordinary. When we believe that what seems impossible can indeed happen, we align ourselves with a transformative power that can bring about extraordinary changes. Consider the historical and personal stories of miracles. People who have experienced profound healing, sudden breakthroughs, or unexpected successes often attribute these events to a combination of faith, determination, and a belief in the possibility of the miraculous. These miracles do not just appear out of nowhere, they emerge from a mindset that refuses to be constrained by current realities and limitations. The belief that the impossible can become possible acts as a catalyst, setting in motion the conditions necessary for miraculous events. Believing in the possibility of miracles also expands our understanding of what is achievable. It challenges us to think beyond our current circumstances and to imagine outcomes that seem beyond reach. This expansive thinking creates an environment where new ideas can flourish, innovative solutions can be discovered, and extraordinary achievements can be realized. By adopting a mindset that embraces the potential for miracles, we encourage ourselves to explore new paths and seize opportunities that might otherwise be overlooked. Moreover, belief in miracles and possibilities fosters a sense of hope and optimism. It empowers us to maintain a positive outlook even in the face of challenges and setbacks. This hopeful perspective not only motivates us to keep striving, but also attracts opportunities and support that might otherwise remain hidden. When we believe that the impossible is possible, we create a fertile ground for miracles to manifest in our lives. The connection between miracles and possibilities is also evident in the way that our beliefs shape our actions. When we believe that something extraordinary can happen, we are more likely to take bold steps and pursue ambitious goals. This proactive approach often leads to unexpected breakthroughs and achievements that align with our belief in the possible. Our actions, fueled by this belief, set in motion a chain of events that can result in remarkable outcomes. In summary, miracles and possibilities are intrinsically linked to the belief that achieving the impossible is within our grasp. By fostering a mindset that embraces the potential for miracles, we open ourselves to extraordinary opportunities, inspire hope and optimism, and align our actions with our aspirations. This belief transforms our perception of what is achievable, setting the stage for remarkable changes and the realization of what once seemed impossible. Inspiration to dare is a powerful force that propels us to take bold steps and pursue goals that might initially seem unattainable. When we believe that achieving the impossible is within our reach, this belief serves as a catalyst that inspires us to move beyond our comfort zones and confront the unknown with courage and determination. The belief in the possibility of achieving extraordinary goals ignites a spark of inspiration that drives us to take risks and embrace challenges. It encourages us to venture into uncharted territory and explore opportunities that we might otherwise shy away from. This inspiration is not just about motivation, it's about fostering a deep-seated conviction that empowers us to act with confidence and resolve. When we are inspired to dare, we begin to see beyond the limitations of our current situation. We start to envision possibilities that stretch our imagination and challenge the status quo. This expanded vision motivates us to set higher goals, push the boundaries of what we believe is possible, and pursue endeavors that reflect our highest aspirations. The process of daring to achieve the impossible involves more than just a mental shift. It requires a proactive approach. It means taking concrete steps toward our goals, even when the path is uncertain or fraught with obstacles. This daring spirit is fueled by the belief that success is not only possible, but also within our grasp. It drives us to take actions that might seem risky or unconventional, but are necessary for reaching our ultimate objectives. Inspiration to dare also has a ripple effect. When we take bold actions and strive for ambitious goals, we inspire those around us to do the same. Our willingness to challenge limits and pursue the extraordinary can serve as a beacon of hope and motivation for others. It creates a culture of possibility where daring to dream big becomes a shared value and encourages collective effort towards achieving remarkable outcomes. Moreover, the act of daring often involves facing fear and overcoming self-doubt. The belief in the possibility of achieving the impossible provides the strength to confront these fears head-on and transform them into stepping stones towards success. This process of confronting and overcoming fears not only builds resilience, but also reinforces our belief in our own potential. In essence, the inspiration to dare is rooted in the belief that the impossible is achievable. It empowers us to move beyond our limitations, take bold actions, and set ambitious goals. This daring spirit drives us to explore new possibilities, inspire others, and face challenges with courage. By embracing this inspiration, we align ourselves with the potential for extraordinary achievements and turn our aspirations into reality. In conclusion, achieving the impossible begins with a fundamental belief in its possibility. When we embrace this belief, we unlock a powerful force that transforms our aspirations into reality. It fuels our resilience, guides our actions, and inspires us to push beyond the boundaries of what we previously thought achievable. By redefining our potential and daring to envision extraordinary outcomes, we set the stage for remarkable accomplishments. Each step we take, grounded in the conviction that the impossible can be made possible, brings us closer to realizing our dreams and making a profound impact. Let us carry forward this belief, knowing that with it, we can turn even the most ambitious goals into tangible successes. Breaking the spirit of limitation begins with recognizing that the only boundaries in your life are the ones you accept. Too often, we confine ourselves to the walls that others build around us, walls of doubt, fear, and inadequacy. But God never created you to live in such a box. He made you in His image, filled with unlimited potential and designed for greatness. You see, limitation is a mindset, a belief that you've reached the peak of what is possible for you. But the Bible tells us that with God, all things are possible. You are not a product of your past failures, your present circumstances, or the opinions of others. You are a child of the King, and He has placed within you the power to break free from any chains that hold you back. The greatest enemy of your destiny is your acceptance of limitation. When you allow yourself to believe that you've gone as far as you can go, you stop growing, stop dreaming, and stop trusting in the power of God to do the miraculous in your life. God wants to take you higher, but you must first break free from the spirit that says you are not capable. David was not the tallest, the strongest, or the most qualified to defeat Goliath, but he refused to accept the limitation of human strength. He trusted in a limitless God, and with a single stone, he brought down a giant. In the same way, God is calling you to reject the spirit of limitation. Your giant might be fear, doubt, lack of resources, or opposition from others. But if you step forward in faith, believing that God is with you, there is no limit to what you can achieve. This is a battle of the mind. The enemy knows that if he can convince you to settle for less, he can keep you from fulfilling your divine purpose. But I urge you today to renew your mind with the Word of God. Meditate on His promises, not your problems. Focus on His power, not your limitations. Speak life into your situation, declaring that you are more than a conqueror through Christ Jesus. God is not a God of lack. He is a God of abundance. He has promised to open the windows of heaven and pour out blessings that you won't have room enough to receive. But to access that abundance, you must reject the lie that you are limited. Your circumstances may say it's impossible, but God says, I will make a way. People may say, you don't have what it takes, but God says, I have equipped you for every good work. The spirit of limitation has no place in your life. You were created to excel, to prosper, and to overcome every obstacle. The power of the Holy Spirit within you breaks every chain, destroys every barrier, and releases you into a future filled with endless possibilities. Trust in God, break free from every limiting belief, and step into the fullness of what He has prepared for you. What you believe about yourself and God's ability in you will determine how far you go in life. Choose to believe that there are no limits. Choose to believe that God can and will take you places you've never imagined. Break the spirit of limitation today and walk boldly into the destiny that awaits you. The first step in breaking the spirit of limitation is understanding that limitation is not something imposed on you by external forces. It's a mindset that you've allowed to take root. Too often we accept the boundaries others place on us, or worse, the ones we place on ourselves. Society, culture, and even our own experiences can make us believe that we are confined to a certain level of success or achievement. But this is not how God designed us. God created each of us in His image, filled with His Spirit and capable of achieving far more than we could ever imagine. The greatest tragedy in life is not a lack of opportunity, but the acceptance of limitation. When you believe that you are limited, you imprison yourself in a small confined space. You stop dreaming, stop aspiring, and stop believing that you can go higher. But God is not limited, and because you are made in His likeness, there is no limit to what you can do when you align yourself with His will. Limitation is a product of fear and doubt. It thrives on the belief that you are not enough, smart enough, talented enough, strong enough, or worthy enough. But these are lies. God's word tells us that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, designed with purpose and potential. You are more than your circumstances, more than your failures, and more than what others say about you. Breaking the spirit of limitation begins by shifting your perspective. You must see yourself the way God sees you, powerful, capable, and equipped for every good work. This doesn't mean you ignore the challenges or difficulties in life, but it means you refuse to let them define or limit you. You have the power to rise above them because the same God who created the universe resides within you. When you embrace this truth, you break the chains of limitation. You begin to operate with a new mindset, one that expects greatness, one that seeks opportunities instead of obstacles, and one that refuses to settle for anything less than God's best. The spirit of limitation has no hold on a child of God who understands their identity and walks in the fullness of that knowledge. When we talk about breaking the spirit of limitation, we must recognize a foundational truth with God. All things are possible. This is not just a comforting phrase or a motivational slogan. It is a divine principle that can transform your life. No matter where you are, no matter what you've gone through, and no matter how impossible your circumstances may seem, God's power knows no limits. The limitations you feel in your life are often based on what you see with your natural eyes. You see your financial struggles, your personal failures, or the roadblocks in front of you, and you assume that's all there is. But God operates in a realm far beyond what we can see or comprehend. His power is not confined by your human limitations, and He is always able to make a way where there seems to be no way. We often put God in a box thinking He can only move in certain ways or within certain boundaries. But God is not confined by human standards, time, or space. When you fully grasp this, you realize that no situation is too difficult for Him. The God who spoke the world into existence, who parted the Red Sea, who brought down the walls of Jericho, and who raised Christ from the dead is the same God who is working in your life right now. Your situation may seem impossible, but that's exactly where God does His best work. When you rely on your strength alone, you will always encounter limits. But when you place your faith in God, those limits are shattered. You must trust that God's power is not just sufficient, it is abundant and overflowing. He doesn't just meet needs, he exceeds them. He doesn't just solve problems, he transforms lives. It's important to remember that God's timing is perfect. You may feel like you've been stuck in the same place for a long time, and that can lead to frustration or doubt. But God's delay is not his denial. In his perfect timing, he will move in ways you never expected, opening doors you never saw and providing solutions you never imagined. The key is to trust him completely, even when you don't see the full picture. To break the spirit of limitation, you must surrender your own understanding and rely on God's limitless power. It's not about what you can do, it's about what God can do through you. Stop focusing on your weaknesses, your inadequacies, and your failures. Instead, focus on the greatness of God. He is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all you could ask or think. Let that truth permeate your heart and mind. When you believe that with God, all things are possible, you begin to live in a new realm of faith. You stop being restricted by the opinions of others, by the failures of the past, or by the obstacles in front of you. You start moving in confidence, knowing that God is for you and that nothing is impossible for him. This faith breaks every barrier, tears down every wall, and propels you into the life of abundance and purpose that God has prepared for you. Breaking the spirit of limitation requires rejecting the belief that you've reached your limit or that there is no more room for growth. One of the most dangerous things you can do is to settle for less than what God has designed for you. Too many people live within the confines of what they believe is possible, never realizing that God has so much more in store for them. But you cannot experience this fullness until you choose to break free from the mindset that says, this is as far as I can go. Growth is a fundamental part of God's design for your life. He did not create you to remain stagnant or to merely survive. He created you to flourish, to thrive, and to continually expand in wisdom, influence, and capacity. When you settle for a life that is less than what God intends, you not only limit yourself, but you also limit how God can work through you to impact others. The problem is that many of us become comfortable with where we are. We accept limitations because it feels safer than stepping into the unknown. We settle because we fear failure or rejection, and as a result, we stop dreaming. But understand this, the moment you stop dreaming is the moment you stop growing. And when you stop growing, you begin to wither. God never intended for you to shrink back in fear or complacency. He designed you for continuous growth, for greater levels of purpose and fulfillment. Rejecting limitation means embracing the truth that there is always more in God. No matter how successful or accomplished you feel, no matter how many challenges you've overcome, there is still more that God wants to do in and through your life. It's not enough to be satisfied with past victories or current achievements. God is calling you to new heights, to bigger visions, and to a deeper understanding of his purpose for your life. The enemy of growth is comfort. Many times we settle for what's familiar because it's easier than stepping out into the unknown. But comfort zones are the breeding grounds for limitation. If you want to break free from the spirit of limitation, you must be willing to leave the comfort of what you know and step into the faith zone where God can stretch you and mold you into the person he created you to be. God has placed seeds of greatness inside of you, but those seeds cannot grow unless you break the soil of limitation that surrounds them. You have to refuse to accept mediocrity or good enough when God is offering you greatness. You have to push beyond the barriers of fear, insecurity, and doubt that try to keep you stuck in one place. One of the keys to rejecting limitation is understanding that your growth is tied to your faith in God. If you believe that God is limitless, then you must also believe that your potential is limitless in him. God is not interested in your comfort. He is interested in your character and your growth. He will allow you to go through difficult seasons and challenging situations, not to break you, but to stretch you, to develop you, and to grow you into the person who can carry the weight of the destiny he has prepared for you. Refuse to settle. Refuse to accept the status quo. You are made for more. God has greater things in store for you, but you must be willing to reject the mindset of limitation. You must choose to grow, to stretch, and to step out in faith. The spirit of limitation cannot hold you down when you align yourself with God's unlimited power and purpose. Keep growing, keep believing, and keep pressing forward into all that God has for you. One of the most powerful examples of breaking the spirit of limitation is found in the story of David and Goliath. David was not the strongest nor the most qualified to face Goliath. From a human perspective, he had no business standing on the battlefield with a giant warrior. But David refused to accept the limitations that others placed on him. Instead, he trusted in a God who is limitless, and with a simple stone, he brought down a giant. This story illustrates a crucial truth. When you reject human limitations and place your faith in God, nothing is impossible. David's strength did not come from his size, his experience, or his weapons. It came from his belief in God's power. He knew that the same God who had delivered him from the lion and the bear would also deliver him from Goliath. David's confidence wasn't in himself, it was in the God who was with him. This is where many of us fall short. We often look at our situation and think, I'm not strong enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not qualified. But God is not limited by your weaknesses, your lack of resources, or your inexperience. He is only limited by your belief in what he can do. The giant you face might not look like Goliath, but it could be fear, doubt, lack, or the expectations others have placed on you. These giants try to intimidate you, to make you feel small and inadequate, and to convince you that you cannot go any further. But like David, you must refuse to accept these limitations. Your faith in God is the weapon that will bring down every giant in your life. It's not about the size of the problem, it's about the size of your faith. When David stood before Goliath, everyone around him saw an impossible situation. They saw a shepherd boy with no armor, no experience, and no chance of winning. But David saw an opportunity for God's power to be displayed. He saw beyond the physical limitations and focused on God's ability to do the impossible. This is the mindset you must adopt. Don't focus on how big the obstacle is, focus on how big your God is. You may be facing a situation that seems impossible right now. It might feel like you are up against a giant that you cannot defeat. But I want to remind you that God specializes in overcoming impossible odds. What others see as a limitation, God sees as an opportunity for his glory to be revealed. Your weakness is the perfect platform for his strength. When you trust in him, he will equip you with everything you need to overcome the giants in your life. David didn't need to wear Saul's armor or fight with Saul's sword. He used what God had given him, a sling and a stone, and that was enough to bring down Goliath. In the same way, you don't need to compare yourself to others or try to use what they have. God has equipped you with everything you need to win your battles. The key is to use what he has placed in your hands, trusting that it is more than enough when combined with his power. Like David, you must face your giants with boldness and confidence, knowing that God has already equipped you for victory. You are not limited by what others say, by what you see, or by what you feel. You are empowered by the Spirit of God, and that makes all the difference. Trust in him, step out in faith, and watch. To break the spirit of limitation, it's essential to recognize and embrace the truth that God provides abundance, not lack. Many people live with a scarcity mindset, believing that resources, opportunities, and blessings are limited and hard to come by. This mindset is a direct contradiction to the nature of God, who is a God of abundance and not of scarcity. When we think in terms of scarcity, we limit ourselves to what we perceive is available. We start believing that there's only so much success, happiness, or opportunity to go around, and as a result, we hold ourselves back. We may feel like we have to compete with others for what little there is, rather than understanding that God's resources are boundless. This way of thinking keeps us trapped in a cycle of fear, worry, and limitation. God's promises are overflowing with abundance. Scripture teaches us that he desires to bless us beyond measure. He promises that he will open the windows of heaven and pour out such blessings that we won't have room enough to receive them. This is a picture of divine abundance that defies human logic. It's not about just meeting your needs, it's about exceeding them. When you adopt a mindset of abundance, you align yourself with God's provision, which is more than sufficient for every need and every dream. In the natural world, we often encounter limitations, economic downturns, personal setbacks, and competitive environments that can make it seem like there isn't enough to go around. But God operates on a different plane. His economy is not constrained by human limitations. His resources are not diminished by the world's problems. He is the creator of the universe, and everything belongs to him. The cattle on 1,000 hills are his. The gold and silver are his. This means that his ability to bless and provide is not limited by earthly constraints. To break free from the spirit of limitation, you must shift your focus from your own resources to God's limitless resources. Instead of worrying about what you don't have, start focusing on what God can provide. This shift in perspective opens the door for God's abundance to flow into your life. It changes how you approach your goals, challenges, and opportunities. It moves you from a place of scarcity, where you're constantly struggling to get by, to a place of abundance where you can freely give, dream, and grow. Understanding God's abundance also means embracing the concept that he can use any situation for your benefit. Even in times of difficulty, God's abundance is not restricted. He can turn challenges into opportunities and setbacks into setups for greater blessings. The key is to trust him fully, knowing that his plans for you are good and that he is capable of bringing about more than you can ask or think. Adopting an abundance mindset also involves rejecting the lies of limitation that may have been ingrained in you from past experiences or societal conditioning. It requires faith and courage to believe that God's promises are true and that he is more than capable of fulfilling them. It involves speaking life over your situation, declaring that God's provision is sufficient and his blessings are overflowing. Ultimately, breaking the spirit of limitation is about embracing the reality of God's abundant nature. It's about believing that he is a God who delights in blessing his children and that his provision is more than enough. When you live with this understanding, you break free from the confines of scarcity and step into a life where possibilities are limitless and opportunities are boundless. Trust in God's abundant provision and let it transform your approach to life, making you a conduit of his blessings to others. The fifth point emphasizes that breaking the spirit of limitation is fundamentally a battle of the mind. Our mindset plays a crucial role in shaping our reality. The way we think about ourselves and our circumstances can either confine us to a life of limitation or propel us into a life of possibility. The enemy of your destiny often seeks to influence your thoughts, planting seeds of doubt, fear, and insecurity to keep you trapped in a cycle of limitation. When we talk about breaking the spirit of limitation, we must first address the thoughts that hold us back. Negative thoughts, limiting beliefs, and self-doubt are powerful forces that can imprison us. They often stem from past experiences, failures, or the opinions of others. These thoughts create mental barriers that prevent us from reaching our full potential. If you constantly tell yourself that you can't succeed, that you're not capable, or that you don't deserve more, you will start to believe these lies, and they will become a reality in your life. To overcome this, you need to renew your mind with the truth of God's word. The Bible tells us that we are transformed by the renewing of our minds. This means changing the way we think to align with God's promises and his vision for our lives. When you fill your mind with God's word, you begin to see yourself and your circumstances through a different lens. You start to understand that you are not defined by your limitations, but by God's limitless power and purpose. Meditation on Scripture is a powerful tool for breaking the spirit of limitation. By focusing on God's promises and his nature, you replace the negative thoughts with positive, faith-filled thoughts. For example, when faced with a challenge, instead of thinking, I can't do this, remind yourself of Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. This shift in thinking transforms obstacles into opportunities and challenges into stepping stones. Moreover, you need to be mindful of the influences around you. The people you associate with can impact your mindset significantly. Negative or pessimistic individuals can reinforce your limiting beliefs, while those who are positive and encouraging can help lift you out of your limitations. Surround yourself with people who believe in your potential and who will challenge you to rise above your self-imposed limitations. Breaking the spirit of limitation also involves taking proactive steps to change your mindset. This means setting goals that stretch you beyond your comfort zone, taking risks that push you to grow, and celebrating your progress along the way. It's about creating a habit of thinking positively and acting courageously, even when it feels uncomfortable or uncertain. The enemy will always try to sow seeds of limitation into your mind, but you have the power to reject those thoughts and replace them with God's truth. The more you practice this renewal of the mind, the stronger your faith becomes, and the more you will see the transformation in your life. When you break free from limiting thoughts, you open yourself up to God's unlimited possibilities and begin to live a life that reflects His greatness. In summary, breaking the spirit of limitation starts with a mental shift. It's about rejecting the negative, limiting thoughts, and replacing them with the truth of God's word. By renewing your mind, surrounding yourself with positive influences, and taking courageous steps forward, you can overcome the mental barriers that hold you back and step into a life of boundless potential. Understanding that God provides abundance, not lack, is pivotal in breaking the spirit of limitation. It's crucial to grasp that God's nature is inherently generous and overflowing. He is not a God who deals in scarcity or insufficiency. Instead, He operates on a scale of infinite provision and grace. This truth should fundamentally alter the way we perceive our own resources and opportunities. The concept of divine abundance is deeply embedded in Scripture. From the beginning of creation to the promises made in the New Testament, God's dealings with His people reflect a pattern of generosity and abundance. For instance, in the story of the feeding of the 5,000, Jesus took 5 loaves and 2 fish and multiplied them to feed a multitude with 12 baskets of leftovers. This miracle wasn't just about satisfying physical hunger, it was a demonstration of God's ability to provide beyond our immediate needs and expectations. Many people struggle with a mindset of scarcity, believing that there is only a finite amount of success, resources, or opportunity available. This belief is often reinforced by economic hardships, personal failures, or the competitive nature of life. Such a mindset can lead to feelings of insecurity and fear, making individuals hesitant to step out in faith or pursue their dreams. However, this view is in stark contrast to the reality of God's abundance. God's provision is limitless and boundless. He does not just provide what is necessary, He provides in abundance. In Malachi 3:10, God promises to open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that there will not be room enough to store it. This promise is not limited to material wealth, but extends to every area of life, including joy, peace, and opportunities. Recognizing and embracing God's abundance requires a shift in how you view your circumstances. Instead of focusing on what you lack, shift your attention to what God can provide. This change in perspective allows you to move from a place of fear and limitation to one of faith and possibility. When you trust in God's promise of abundance, you open yourself up to receiving more than you could ever ask or imagine. To live in the reality of God's abundance, you need to cultivate a heart of gratitude and generosity. Gratitude acknowledges God's past provision and fuels your trust in His future blessings. Generosity reflects God's nature and opens the door for more to be given to you. As you give and share with others, you align yourself with God's abundance and position yourself to receive even more. Breaking the spirit of limitation involves stepping out of a scarcity mindset and embracing the truth of God's abundant nature. It requires trusting that God's provision is more than sufficient and that His blessings overflow beyond what we can measure or comprehend. When you fully grasp this truth, you move from a life constrained by limitations to one that is liberated by divine abundance. This understanding empowers you to pursue your dreams, take bold steps of faith, and live a life that reflects the generosity and greatness of God. To break the spirit of limitation, it is essential to confront and overcome the obstacles that arise from fear and doubt. Fear and doubt are powerful forces that can paralyze us and prevent us from reaching our full potential. They often manifest as internal voices that tell us we are not capable, that we will fail, or that we are not worthy of success and abundance. These voices can be incredibly convincing, but they must be challenged and overcome if we are to move beyond our limitations. The first step in overcoming fear is to confront it head on. Identify what you are afraid of and examine the root causes of these fears. Are they based on past failures or perceived inadequacies? Are they influenced by negative experiences or the opinions of others? Understanding the source of your fear is crucial in addressing it effectively. Next, replace fear with faith. Faith is the antidote to fear. When you place your trust in God, you acknowledge that He is greater than any obstacle or challenge you may face. Faith allows you to see beyond the immediate fears and uncertainties, focusing instead on the promises and assurances that God has made. The Bible repeatedly encourages us not to fear, but to trust in God's power and provision. For example, Isaiah 41:10 says, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God." Doubt is another significant barrier to breaking the spirit of limitation. Doubt often arises when we question our abilities, our worthiness, or the possibility of achieving our goals. It can be debilitating, causing us to second guess our decisions and hold back from pursuing our dreams. To overcome doubt, it is important to build confidence through positive affirmations and evidence of past successes. One effective way to combat doubt is by recalling and reflecting on past experiences where you have succeeded or overcome challenges. This can help build your confidence and remind you that you are capable of achieving more than you might think. Additionally, surrounding yourself with positive influences, people who believe in you and encourage you, can help counteract feelings of doubt and reinforce your belief in your abilities. Setting small, achievable goals can also help in overcoming fear and doubt. Each small victory builds momentum and reinforces your ability to succeed. As you achieve these smaller goals, you gain confidence and reduce the power of fear and doubt over your life. Breaking the spirit of limitation requires a proactive approach to addressing and overcoming fear and doubt. By confronting your fears, replacing them with faith, and taking action despite your uncertainties, you empower yourself to move beyond the limitations that have held you back. Remember that fear and doubt are not indicators of your inability, but opportunities to grow stronger and more resilient. With God's strength and your own determination, you can overcome these obstacles and step into a life of boundless possibilities. To break the spirit of limitation, it's essential to take ownership of your life and recognize the power of your choices. Many people remain trapped in limitations because they fail to take responsibility for their circumstances and actions. They often blame external factors such as their environment, upbringing, or other people for their lack of progress or success. However, true empowerment comes from acknowledging that you have the power to make decisions that shape your future. Taking ownership means recognizing that you are the primary architect of your destiny. Your choices, attitudes, and actions are significant factors in determining the direction of your life. When you accept that you have control over your decisions, you empower yourself to break free from limitations and create the life you desire. One of the first steps in taking ownership is to stop making excuses. Excuses are often a way of deflecting responsibility and avoiding the hard work required to achieve your goals. They serve as barriers that keep you from facing the truth about your situation and making necessary changes. By eliminating excuses and taking full responsibility for your actions, you open the door to growth and transformation. It's also important to adopt a proactive mindset. Rather than waiting for opportunities to come to you or for circumstances to change, take initiative and create opportunities for yourself. This might involve setting clear goals, developing a plan of action, and taking consistent steps toward achieving those goals. Being proactive means being in control of your life and making intentional choices that align with your aspirations. Furthermore, taking ownership involves recognizing and addressing your weaknesses and areas for improvement. It requires a level of self-awareness and honesty about where you may be falling short. Instead of blaming others or external factors for your challenges, take a hard look at your own role in the situation. Identify the areas where you need to grow or change and take concrete steps to address them. This might involve seeking additional training, improving your skills, or developing better habits. Another critical aspect of taking ownership is understanding the impact of your attitudes and beliefs. Your mindset plays a significant role in determining how you approach challenges and opportunities. If you believe that you are limited by your circumstances or by the opinions of others, you will be less likely to take bold actions and pursue your goals. On the other hand, if you believe in your ability to overcome obstacles and achieve success, you will be more likely to take proactive steps and persevere through difficulties. It's also important to recognize that taking ownership means accepting the outcomes of your decisions, whether they are positive or negative. While it's natural to celebrate successes, it's equally important to learn from failures and setbacks. Instead of viewing failure as a reflection of your worth, see it as a valuable learning experience. Each setback provides an opportunity to grow, adjust your approach, and become more resilient. Ultimately, taking ownership empowers you to break the spirit of limitation by giving you control over your life and your future. When you accept responsibility for your choices, adopt a proactive mindset, and address your weaknesses, you position yourself to overcome obstacles and achieve your goals. Remember, you are not a victim of your circumstances, but a powerful creator of your destiny. By embracing this truth, you can break free from limitations and step into a life of boundless possibilities. Perseverance involves the ability to continue striving towards your goals despite difficulties and delays. It is the steadfastness and determination to keep moving forward even when faced with resistance or failure. Perseverance is not just about enduring hardships, but about maintaining focus and commitment to your vision, regardless of the obstacles that arise. One of the most compelling examples of perseverance is found in the story of Job from the Bible. Job faced extreme adversity, loss of wealth, health, and family, but he never wavered in his faith and commitment to God. His story demonstrates that perseverance through intense suffering can lead to greater blessings and a deeper understanding of God's provision. Job's endurance through trials ultimately resulted in restoration and abundance beyond what he had before. This story is a powerful reminder that perseverance through challenges can break the spirit of limitation and lead to greater rewards. Resilience, on the other hand, is the ability to bounce back from adversity and adapt to changing circumstances. It involves a flexible mindset that allows you to recover from setbacks and continue pursuing your goals with renewed vigor. Resilience is about not letting failures define you, but using them as opportunities to learn and grow. Developing resilience requires a mindset shift. Instead of viewing setbacks as insurmountable barriers, see them as temporary obstacles that can be overcome. Each challenge is an opportunity to strengthen your character, enhance your skills, and build your confidence. When you view difficulties as part of the growth process rather than as roadblocks, you cultivate resilience and maintain momentum towards your goals. An important aspect of resilience is maintaining a positive outlook. Positivity helps you to stay motivated and focused, even in the face of adversity. It's about believing that, despite the current difficulties, you have the capacity to overcome and succeed. This belief fuels perseverance and helps you navigate through tough times with hope and determination. Moreover, resilience and perseverance are strengthened through proactive problem solving and continuous learning. When faced with a challenge, instead of dwelling on what went wrong, focus on finding solutions and learning from the experience. Analyze what led to the setback and develop strategies to address similar issues in the future. This proactive approach not only helps you recover from setbacks, but also prepares you to handle future challenges more effectively. Support systems also play a crucial role in building resilience. Surround yourself with people who encourage you, provide constructive feedback, and offer emotional support. Having a network of supportive individuals can help you stay motivated and provide valuable perspectives during difficult times. Their encouragement can reinforce your determination and resilience, making it easier to break free from limitations. Ultimately, breaking the spirit of limitation requires a commitment to perseverance and resilience. By continuing to push forward despite setbacks, maintaining a positive outlook, actively solving problems, and leveraging support systems, you can overcome the challenges that stand in your way. Embracing these qualities empowers you to move beyond limitations and achieve your goals, demonstrating that the power to succeed lies within you. To break the spirit of limitation, it's essential to focus on harnessing the power of vision and setting clear, intentional goals. Vision acts as a driving force that propels you towards your desired future, while well-defined goals provide the roadmap to achieve that vision. Together, they empower you to transcend limitations and reach your full potential. A powerful example of vision in action is the story of Nehemiah, who, despite facing significant opposition, had a clear vision to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. His vision was not just about restoring physical walls, but about restoring the city's dignity and security. Nehemiah's vision motivated him to rally support, overcome obstacles, and achieve his goal. His story demonstrates the power of a clear vision in breaking through limitations and achieving great things. Setting clear, intentional goals is the practical application of your vision. Goals translate your vision into actionable steps and provide a framework for measuring progress. Effective goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound smart. This clarity helps you focus your efforts, track your progress, and make necessary adjustments along the way. To set meaningful goals, start by breaking down your vision into smaller, manageable objectives. These objectives should align with your overall vision and contribute to its achievement. For example, if your vision is to start a successful business, your goals might include developing a business plan, securing funding, and launching your first product. Each goal should be clear and actionable with a defined timeline for completion. It's also important to prioritize your goals and focus on what matters most. Not all goals are equally important, and some may need to be addressed before others. By prioritizing, you ensure that your efforts are directed towards the most impactful objectives and avoid spreading yourself too thin. Another key aspect of goal setting is maintaining flexibility. While your vision and goals provide direction, the path to achieving them may not always be straightforward. Be prepared to adapt and adjust your goals as circumstances change. Flexibility allows you to navigate unforeseen challenges and take advantage of new opportunities that align with your vision. Regularly reviewing and evaluating your goals is crucial for maintaining progress and motivation. Set aside time to assess your achievements, reflect on what is working, and identify areas for improvement. This evaluation helps you stay on track, make necessary adjustments, and keep your vision in focus. Additionally, visualize the achievement of your goals. Visualization is a powerful tool that reinforces your commitment and motivation. Imagine yourself successfully reaching your goals and experiencing the positive outcomes. This mental practice strengthens your belief in your ability to succeed and helps you overcome obstacles along the way. Ultimately, breaking the spirit of limitation involves harnessing the power of vision and setting clear, intentional goals. A compelling vision provides direction and motivation, while well-defined goals offer a practical roadmap for achieving that vision. By focusing on these elements, you empower yourself to move beyond limitations and pursue your aspirations with clarity and determination. Your vision and goals become the driving forces that propel you toward a future of limitless possibilities and success. In conclusion, breaking the spirit of limitation is a journey of transformation and empowerment. It requires a profound shift in mindset, embracing the boundless possibilities that lie before us. By identifying and confronting the mental barriers that confine us, we reclaim the power to define our own destiny. Understanding that God's nature is one of abundance rather than scarcity reshapes our approach to life's challenges and opportunities. Ultimately, breaking the spirit of limitation is about recognizing our divine potential and stepping into the fullness of who we are created to be. It's about shifting from a mindset of constraint to one of possibility, fueled by faith, determination, and a clear vision. As we embrace this transformative journey, we unlock the power within us to overcome any obstacle and achieve a life of purpose, abundance, and fulfillment. The path is not always easy, but with commitment and courage, we can transcend limitations and realize the extraordinary potential that God has placed within us. Rejection is not the end of the road. It is merely a redirection towards something greater. When you face rejection, do not allow it to define you or diminish your worth. Instead, let it refine you. Understand that rejection is often a sign that you are being prepared for something bigger, something that requires more than what you currently possess. When you are rejected, the first thing you must do is to pause and reflect. Don't react impulsively or allow emotions to cloud your judgment. Take a moment to consider why the rejection occurred. Is it because you were aiming too low, settling for less than you deserve? Or is it because there is another path you need to pursue, one that aligns more closely with your purpose and calling? Next, embrace the lesson that rejection offers. There is always something to be learned from every experience, and rejection is no exception. It teaches you resilience, patience, and the value of persistence. It forces you to look inward, to assess your strengths and weaknesses, and to develop a deeper understanding of yourself and your purpose. Do not allow rejection to breed bitterness or self-pity. These emotions will only keep you stuck in the past, hindering your progress. Instead, use rejection as fuel to propel you forward. Let it motivate you to improve, to grow, and to become better than you were before. Remember, every great achievement is often preceded by moments of rejection. Those who succeed are the ones who refuse to give up, who press on despite the setbacks. Finally, trust in the process. Rejection is a part of life, but it is not the end of your story. Trust that God has a plan for you, one that is far greater than you can imagine. He may close a door today, but that is only because He is preparing to open a better one tomorrow. So when you are rejected, do not despair. Instead, stand tall, keep moving forward, and know that your best days are still ahead of you. Rejection is often misunderstood as a final verdict on our worth or potential. But in truth, rejection is not an end, it is a redirection. When you encounter rejection, it is as if life is nudging you away from one path to lead you toward another, often better direction. It's like a compass recalibrating itself, ensuring that you are on the right course. Many times we become so fixated on what we want that we overlook what is best for us. Rejection serves as a divine intervention, steering us away from situations, people, or opportunities that may not be in our best interest. It's as if God is saying, this isn't for you, but trust me, something greater awaits. Rather than seeing rejection as a door slammed shut, see it as a new path opening up, one that you may not have considered, but is exactly where you need to be. Rejection challenges you to reassess your goals, your desires, and even your purpose. It forces you to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Sometimes we aim too low or settle for less than we deserve because we fear aiming higher. But rejection clears away the distractions and illusions, guiding you toward a path that is more aligned with your true purpose. In moments of rejection, it's easy to feel lost or disoriented, but it's important to remember that every detour has its destination. Trust in the redirection. Trust that what lies ahead is far greater than what you're leaving behind. When you embrace this perspective, rejection becomes less about loss and more about gaining clarity, gaining direction, and ultimately gaining the life that was meant for you. When faced with rejection, one of the most important things you can do is to pause and reflect. In the immediate aftermath, emotions can run high. Feelings of disappointment, frustration, or even anger may cloud your judgment. It's natural to want to react quickly, whether by defending yourself, seeking validation, or trying to immediately compensate for what you feel you've lost. But in these moments, reacting impulsively can lead to decisions that aren't well thought out or beneficial in the long run. Pausing gives you the space to breathe, to step back from the intensity of the moment, and to gain perspective. It allows you to separate your emotions from the situation at hand, giving you the clarity needed to think more deeply about what has happened and why. Reflection then becomes a powerful tool for understanding the rejection, not as a personal failure, but as an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. When you take the time to reflect, you can ask yourself meaningful questions. Was this opportunity or relationship truly aligned with my values and goals? Did I perhaps miss certain signs that it wasn't the right fit? Is there something I can learn from this experience that will better prepare me for the future? By answering these questions, you begin to see rejection not as a setback, but as a stepping stone towards something more suitable for you. Reflection also helps you to understand that rejection often has less to do with your inherent worth and more to do with external factors, timing, fit, circumstances beyond your control. This understanding can alleviate the sting of rejection and empower you to move forward with greater self-awareness and resilience. Ultimately, pausing and reflecting after rejection allows you to gather your thoughts, process your emotions, and realign your focus. It is in this stillness that you can find the wisdom to navigate your next steps with intention and confidence, turning what might initially feel like a defeat into a powerful catalyst for personal and spiritual growth. After experiencing rejection, it's crucial to take a moment to assess your path. This involves stepping back to evaluate the direction you've been heading and determining whether it truly aligns with your ultimate goals and purpose. Rejection often serves as a wake-up call, prompting you to reconsider the choices you've made and the path you're on. When you assess your path, you begin by asking yourself important questions. Is the direction I've been pursuing truly where I want to go? Am I following a path that fulfills my deeper purpose? Or have I been chasing after something that isn't truly aligned with who I am? Sometimes we get so caught up in the pursuit of a particular goal or opportunity that we lose sight of whether it's genuinely the right fit for us. Rejection can be a signal that it's time to reevaluate and make adjustments if necessary. This process of assessment is not about questioning your worth or abilities, but rather about ensuring that your actions and goals are in harmony with your true self. It's about making sure that the steps you're taking are leading you toward a future that resonates with your values, passions, and calling. Rejection may reveal that you were aiming for something too small, something that doesn't fully utilize your gifts and potential. Or it may show you that the path you were on was not meant for you, and that there is a better, more fulfilling path available. In assessing your path, you also have the opportunity to identify areas for growth. Perhaps the rejection was a sign that you need to develop certain skills or gain more experience before you can reach the level you aspire to. Or maybe it's an indication that you need to shift your focus entirely, exploring new avenues that you hadn't considered before. Ultimately, assessing your path after rejection is about realigning your life with your true purpose. It's a moment to ensure that you're not simply following a path out of habit, fear, or societal pressure, but one that genuinely reflects who you are and where you want to go. By doing so, you can turn rejection into a powerful opportunity for redirection, guiding you toward a future that is more fulfilling and aligned with your highest aspirations. When rejection comes your way, it's easy to feel discouraged or disheartened, but one of the most powerful responses you can have is to embrace the lesson that rejection offers. Every rejection carries with it a lesson, sometimes obvious, sometimes subtle, that can serve as a stepping stone toward greater wisdom, resilience, and success. Embracing the lesson begins with a shift in perspective. Instead of viewing rejection as a failure or a reflection of your inadequacies, see it as a teacher. It's not there to break you down, but to build you up, to show you areas where you can grow, refine your approach, or gain new insights. The lesson might be about perseverance, teaching you that success often requires more persistence and effort than you initially thought. Or it might be about humility, reminding you that no matter how skilled or prepared you are, there will always be challenges and obstacles that require patience and adaptability. Rejection can also teach you about the value of timing. Sometimes it's not that your idea or approach was wrong, but that the timing wasn't right. Embracing this lesson helps you develop patience and the understanding that not every opportunity is meant to be seized immediately. It encourages you to trust the process and recognize that delays or setbacks often serve a greater purpose in the grand scheme of your life. Another key lesson that rejection offers is self-awareness. It gives you a chance to reflect on your strengths and weaknesses, helping you to better understand yourself. Maybe there are skills you need to develop further, or perhaps your approach needs refining. By embracing this lesson, you gain clarity on what you need to work on to become better equipped for future opportunities. Embracing the lesson also means letting go of any resentment or bitterness that might arise from rejection. Holding on to negative emotions only weighs you down and blinds you to the valuable insights that rejection can provide. Instead, approach the situation with a mindset of curiosity and openness. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can this rejection make me stronger, wiser, or more prepared for the future? By doing so, you transform rejection from a source of pain into a catalyst for growth. Ultimately, embracing the lesson means understanding that rejection is not a setback, but a setup for something greater. It's an opportunity to refine your vision, sharpen your skills, and deepen your character. When you approach rejection with this mindset, you'll find that every no you encounter brings you one step closer to the yes that is truly meant for you. In this way, rejection becomes not just an obstacle to overcome, but a vital part of your journey towards success and fulfillment. When faced with rejection, it's natural to feel hurt or disappointed. However, one of the most important things you can do is to avoid bitterness. Bitterness is like a poison that can seep into your heart and mind, clouding your judgment and tainting your outlook on life. It's a negative emotion that can take root and grow, ultimately holding you back from moving forward and embracing new opportunities. Bitterness often stems from the feeling that life has been unfair, that you've been wronged or overlooked. While these feelings are valid, Allowing them to fester can create a cycle of negativity. Instead of focusing on what could have been or harboring resentment towards those who rejected you, it's crucial to shift your perspective. Understand that rejection is a part of life's journey, not a reflection of your worth or potential. Everyone experiences rejection at some point. It's how you respond to it that makes the difference. Avoiding bitterness requires conscious effort. First, acknowledge your feelings of hurt and disappointment, but don't dwell on them. Give yourself permission to feel, but then make a deliberate choice to let go of those emotions. Holding on to bitterness only traps you in the past, preventing you from seeing the possibilities that lie ahead. Another key to avoiding bitterness is to practice gratitude. Even in the face of rejection, there are still things in your life to be thankful for: your health, your relationships, your talents, and the opportunities that are yet to come. By focusing on the positives, you can shift your mindset away from what you've lost and towards what you still have and can achieve. Forgiveness also plays a crucial role in avoiding bitterness. This doesn't mean you have to condone the actions of those who may have rejected or hurt you, but it does mean releasing the hold that anger and resentment have over you. Forgiveness frees you from the emotional burden of bitterness, allowing you to move forward with a lighter heart and a clearer mind. It's an act of self-liberation, giving you the freedom to pursue new paths without being weighed down by the past. Lastly, keep in mind that bitterness is a barrier to growth. When you allow bitterness to take root, it stifles your ability to learn from the experience and to grow as a person. It keeps you stuck in a cycle of negativity, where you're more focused on what didn't work out than on what could still be. By choosing to avoid bitterness, you open yourself up to learning the lessons rejection has to offer, and you position yourself to approach future opportunities with optimism and resilience. In the end, avoiding bitterness is about protecting your peace and maintaining your focus on what truly matters. It's about recognizing that rejection is not the end of your story, but merely a chapter in it. By letting go of bitterness, you make room for new beginnings, for growth, and for the blessings that are still to come. When rejection comes your way, it can either diminish your drive or ignite a new fire within you. Choosing the latter means using rejection as motivation, transforming it from a setback into a powerful force that propels you forward. Instead of allowing rejection to weaken your resolve, you can harness it to fuel your determination and push you to achieve even greater things. Using rejection as motivation starts with a shift in mindset. Rather than seeing rejection as a personal failure, view it as a challenge, a call to rise above and prove, not only to others, but more importantly, to yourself, what you are truly capable of. This shift in perspective allows you to turn rejection into a catalyst for growth and improvement. It's an opportunity to assess where you can become stronger, where you can refine your skills, and how you can prepare better for the next opportunity. One of the most powerful ways to use rejection as motivation is to let it sharpen your focus. When you're rejected, it often reveals areas where you might have been complacent or where you need to step up your game. Instead of dwelling on what didn't go right, channel your energy into refining your approach, enhancing your skills, and setting even higher goals. Let the sting of rejection remind you that there is more work to be done, and let that realization drive you to excel in ways you hadn't previously considered. Rejection can also motivate you to think creatively and to take risks. When one door closes, it forces you to look for others that might be open, or even to create new doors yourself. Rejection can push you out of your comfort zone, encouraging you to explore new avenues, try different strategies, or pursue opportunities you might have overlooked. It challenges you to think outside the box and innovate, leading to new insights and breakthroughs that you might never have discovered otherwise. Another way to use rejection as motivation is to let it deepen your resilience. Every time you face rejection and choose to keep going, you build mental and emotional strength. You learn that you can survive disappointment, and more importantly, you can thrive in spite of it. This resilience becomes a powerful motivator because you know that no matter how many times you're knocked down, you have the capacity to get back up and keep moving forward. Rejection becomes less about what you've lost and more about what you're capable of overcoming. Moreover, using rejection as motivation also involves setting new, even bolder goals. Let rejection challenge you to aim higher, to dream bigger, and to pursue your passions with even more vigor. Instead of lowering your expectations or settling for less, let rejection inspire you to go after what you truly want with renewed intensity. It's about refusing to accept no as the final answer and being willing to put in the work to turn that no into a yes. Ultimately, when you use rejection as motivation, you are taking control of your narrative. You're deciding that rejection won't define you or limit you. Instead, it will refine you and push you closer to your true potential. You're choosing to see every rejection as a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. And in doing so, you turn what could have been a roadblock into a powerful force for success. This mindset empowers you to move forward with greater purpose and determination, knowing that each rejection is simply another opportunity to grow, learn, and ultimately achieve your goals. Persistence is the driving force that turns dreams into reality, and it becomes especially crucial when faced with rejection. In life, rejection is inevitable. No one achieves their goals without encountering setbacks. But what sets successful people apart is their unwavering commitment to keep going despite the obstacles they face. Persistence is key because it's the quality that keeps you moving forward, even when the path is difficult and the outcome seems uncertain. When you experience rejection, it can be tempting to give up, to accept defeat, and to believe that your efforts are in vain. But true success often lies just beyond the point where most people quit. Persistence means choosing to continue on your journey, even when you're discouraged, even when others doubt you, and even when the road ahead looks long and daunting. It's about holding on to your vision with determination and refusing to let temporary setbacks derail your progress. Persistence is not just about stubbornly pushing forward. Without reflection, it's about being adaptable and resilient in the face of challenges. When you persist, you're willing to learn from your mistakes, make adjustments, and keep trying until you get it right. Rejection offers valuable feedback: what didn't work, what needs to be improved, and where you might need to take a different approach. By embracing this feedback and persisting with a refined strategy, you increase your chances of success. Moreover, persistence builds character. It teaches you the value of hard work, discipline, and patience. Every time you push through rejection and keep striving towards your goals, you're developing inner strength and resilience. This strength not only helps you overcome the current obstacle, but also prepares you for future challenges. Persistence is about playing the long game, understanding that great things often take time, and being willing to put in the necessary effort day after day, year after year. Persistence also instills a sense of purpose. When you're committed to a goal and you persist in the face of rejection, it's because you believe in the importance of what you're doing. This sense of purpose fuels your persistence, giving you the motivation to keep going, even when the journey is tough. It's this purpose that keeps you anchored, reminding you why you started in the first place and why it's worth continuing despite the setbacks. Another critical aspect of persistence is its impact on those around you. When you persist in the face of adversity, you inspire others to do the same. Your determination becomes a beacon of hope and encouragement, showing others that it's possible to overcome obstacles and achieve great things, even in the face of repeated rejection. Persistence is contagious. Your unwavering commitment can motivate others to keep pushing forward on their own journeys. Persistence is also about maintaining hope and optimism. It's the belief that every no brings you closer to a yes, that every closed door leads you nearer to an open one. This hopeful outlook is essential because it keeps your spirits high and your mind focused on the possibilities rather than the limitations. Persistence requires you to keep your eyes on the prize, to trust that your efforts will eventually pay off, and to stay positive even when the outcome is not immediately visible. Ultimately, persistence is the key that unlocks the door to success. It's what allows you to turn rejection into a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. When you persist, you prove to yourself and to the world that you are not easily defeated, that you are committed to your goals, and that you have the endurance to see them through to fruition. In this way, persistence is not just about enduring hardship, it's about cultivating the strength, resilience, and tenacity needed to achieve your dreams. Staying focused on your purpose is a crucial element for achieving long-term success and fulfillment, especially when faced with rejection. Purpose acts as your guiding star, providing direction and meaning to your efforts. When you are clear about your purpose, it becomes easier to navigate challenges and setbacks with resilience and determination. The first step in staying focused on your purpose is to clearly define what it is. Your purpose is the deeper reason behind your goals and ambitions, the driving force that gives your life and work meaning. It's what motivates you to get up every day and pursue your dreams, even in the face of obstacles. By having a well-defined purpose, you create a roadmap that helps you stay on course, even when you encounter rejection or setbacks. When rejection occurs, it's essential to reconnect with your purpose. This means taking a step back and reminding yourself why you started in the first place. Reflect on the vision you have for your life, the goals you are passionate about, and the impact you want to make. Reconnecting with your purpose helps you put rejection into perspective, allowing you to see it as a temporary hurdle rather than a permanent barrier. Staying focused on your purpose also involves setting clear, actionable goals that align with that purpose. When you have specific objectives that are connected to your broader vision, it becomes easier to remain motivated and driven. Rejection can make these goals seem distant or unattainable, but by breaking them down into smaller, manageable steps, you can maintain a sense of progress and accomplishment. Each small victory brings you closer to your larger purpose, reinforcing your commitment and helping you push through challenges. Another important aspect of staying focused on your purpose is to avoid getting sidetracked by distractions or temporary setbacks. It's easy to become disheartened and lose sight of your goals when faced with rejection, especially if it leads to self-doubt or criticism. However, maintaining focus means staying true to your vision and resisting the temptation to abandon your path in favor of easier or less challenging alternatives. It requires discipline and a steadfast commitment to your long-term goals, even when the immediate outcome seems discouraging. Surrounding yourself with supportive people can also help you stay focused on your purpose. Seek out mentors, friends, and colleagues who understand and believe in your vision. Their encouragement and advice can provide valuable perspective and help keep you motivated. Additionally, sharing your purpose with others can create a network of support that holds you accountable and provides a source of inspiration when you need it most. Staying focused on your purpose also involves continuous self-reflection and growth. As you progress, your understanding of your purpose may evolve. Regularly assess whether your actions and goals still align with your core values and aspirations. This ongoing reflection helps you stay aligned with your true purpose, making necessary adjustments to ensure that you remain on the right path. Finally, maintaining focus on your purpose requires resilience and a positive mindset. Rejection and setbacks are part of the journey, but they do not define your ultimate destination. By keeping your purpose at the forefront, you can maintain a hopeful and optimistic outlook, viewing challenges as opportunities for growth rather than as insurmountable obstacles. This mindset helps you remain steadfast in your pursuit of your goals, turning every rejection into a lesson learned and every setback into a chance to strengthen your resolve. In essence, staying focused on your purpose means keeping your eyes on the bigger picture. It's about understanding that rejection is just one part of a larger journey and that your purpose provides the clarity and motivation needed to overcome obstacles and achieve your dreams. By staying true to your purpose, you navigate challenges with greater resilience, make more deliberate decisions, and ultimately find greater fulfillment in your achievements. Trusting in God's plan is about having faith in a higher purpose and believing that there is a divine order guiding your life, even when things don't go as planned. It's about understanding that while you may face rejection and challenges, these experiences are part of a larger, purposeful journey that is ultimately for your good. Trusting in God's plan requires patience, surrender, and a deep sense of faith that everything is unfolding according to a greater design. At its core, trusting in God's plan involves recognizing that there is a divine intelligence at work in your life. It's the belief that there is a purpose behind every experience, including the rejections and setbacks you encounter. When you trust in God's plan, you acknowledge that while you may not always understand why things happen the way they do, you have faith that there is a reason and that everything is working together for your benefit. This trust helps you maintain a sense of peace and acceptance, even when faced with uncertainty and difficulty. Trusting in God's plan also means letting go of the need to control every aspect of your life. It's about surrendering your own expectations and desires and being open to the possibility that God has something better in store for you. Rejection can feel like a door closing, but it's often a sign that a different, more fitting opportunity is on the horizon. By trusting in God's plan, you allow yourself to embrace change and new directions with a sense of hope and optimism. This trust also involves believing that God's timing is perfect. We often want things to happen according to our own schedules, but God's timing is often different from ours. Trusting in God's plan means accepting that delays and setbacks are part of the process and that they serve a purpose in preparing you for what lies ahead. It's about having the patience to wait for the right moment and the faith to believe that everything will fall into place when the time is right. In times of rejection, trusting in God's plan encourages you to see challenges as opportunities for growth and refinement. Rejection can be a way of redirecting you towards something more aligned with your true purpose. By having faith that God is guiding you, you can view these experiences as part of a larger plan that is shaping you into the person you are meant to become. This perspective helps you remain resilient and motivated, knowing that every challenge is contributing to your personal and spiritual development. Trusting in God's plan also means embracing a sense of gratitude. Even when things don't go as planned, there are always reasons to be thankful. Trusting in God's plan encourages you to focus on the blessings you have rather than what you may have lost. This gratitude shifts your mindset from one of lack to one of abundance, helping you to remain positive and hopeful about the future. Additionally, trusting in God's plan involves seeking guidance through prayer, reflection, and spiritual practices. By staying connected to your faith and seeking divine guidance, you gain clarity and strength to navigate life's challenges. This connection provides reassurance that you are not alone in your journey and that there is a higher purpose guiding you through every step. Ultimately, trusting in God's plan is about finding comfort and assurance in the belief that your life is part of a greater narrative. It's about recognizing that you are being guided toward a purpose that is far greater than you can imagine. This trust allows you to approach rejection and setbacks with a sense of peace and confidence, knowing that they are not the end of your story, but rather a part of the divine plan that is leading you to something more fulfilling and meaningful. In summary, trusting in God's plan involves having faith in the divine order of your life, letting go of the need for control, embracing God's timing, viewing challenges as opportunities for growth, practicing gratitude, and seeking spiritual guidance. This trust provides a foundation of peace and resilience, helping you navigate rejection and obstacles with a sense of hope and purpose, knowing that you are being guided toward your true destiny. Keep moving forward is a powerful principle that embodies the essence of persistence and resilience in the face of rejection and adversity. It's about maintaining momentum, continuing to pursue your goals, and not allowing setbacks to derail your progress. This concept is central to overcoming obstacles and achieving long-term success, as it encourages you to stay focused on your objectives despite the challenges that may come your way. Keeping moving forward starts with the decision to not let rejection or failure define you. Rejection can feel like a significant setback, but it's crucial to remember that it is not the end of your journey. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong or allowing yourself to be discouraged, choose to view rejection as a temporary detour rather than a permanent roadblock. This mindset shift helps you maintain your determination and drive, ensuring that you continue to advance toward your goals. One of the key aspects of keeping moving forward is setting and pursuing small, actionable steps. When faced with a setback, break down your larger goals into smaller, manageable tasks that you can work on every day. These incremental steps allow you to maintain a sense of progress and accomplishment, even when the overall goal may seem distant. By focusing on these smaller tasks, you build momentum and keep yourself engaged in the process, making it easier to keep moving forward despite the challenges. Another important element of keeping moving forward is learning from your experiences. Each rejection or setback provides valuable insights into what you can improve or how you can adjust your approach. Reflect on what didn't work, gather feedback, and use this information to make informed adjustments to your strategy. By turning setbacks into learning opportunities, you transform obstacles into stepping stones that help you progress more effectively. Maintaining a forward-focused mindset also involves surrounding yourself with positive influences and support. Connect with mentors, peers, and friends who encourage you and offer constructive feedback. Their support can provide you with the motivation and perspective needed to keep moving forward. Positive influences can help you stay focused on your goals and remind you of your potential, even when you face difficulties. Additionally, keeping moving forward requires resilience and the ability to adapt to changing circumstances. Life is unpredictable, and there will be times when you need to adjust your plans or approach. Embrace flexibility and be willing to pivot when necessary. Adaptability ensures that you can navigate challenges effectively and continue making progress even when the path to your goal changes. It's also important to celebrate your progress and achievements along the way. Acknowledging and celebrating milestones, no matter how small, helps maintain your motivation and reinforces your commitment to moving forward. These celebrations provide positive reinforcement and remind you of the progress you've made, keeping you energized and focused on the journey ahead. Lastly, keeping moving forward involves cultivating a strong sense of self-belief and resilience. Trust in your abilities and maintain confidence in your goals, even when faced with setbacks. Believing in yourself and your potential is crucial for overcoming obstacles and continuing to advance toward your objectives. This self-belief fuels your determination and helps you push through challenges with perseverance and courage. In summary, keeping moving forward is about maintaining momentum, setting and pursuing small steps, learning from setbacks, surrounding yourself with positive influences, being adaptable, celebrating progress, and cultivating self-belief. By embracing this principle, you navigate rejection and adversity with resilience and determination, ensuring that you continue to make progress toward your goals and ultimately achieve long-term success. In conclusion, navigating the journey of rejection and setbacks with grace and resilience is essential for achieving lasting success and fulfillment. By understanding that rejection is a form of redirection, pausing to reflect, assessing your path, and embracing the lessons learned, you transform challenges into opportunities for growth. Avoiding bitterness, using rejection as motivation, and staying focused on your purpose provide you with the strength and clarity needed to persevere. Trusting in God's plan and keeping moving forward ensures that you maintain hope and momentum even in the face of adversity. Remember, every rejection is not a defeat but a stepping stone towards a greater goal. It's an opportunity to refine your approach, enhance your character, and reaffirm your commitment to your purpose. As you continue to embrace these principles, you will find that rejection becomes a powerful force for positive change, leading you closer to your true potential and ultimate success. Keep moving forward with determination and trust that each step you take brings you closer to realizing your dreams. In life, we often encounter moments where we fall into the same traps, make the same mistakes, and suffer the same consequences. But I want you to know that this pattern is not what God intended for us. The saying, "a man is not stung twice from the same hole," is not just a cautionary proverb. It's a principle rooted in wisdom. It's a reminder that God has given us the ability to learn, to grow, and to rise above repeated failures. When you find yourself in a situation where you've been hurt, betrayed, or led astray, it is not merely an invitation to feel sorrow, but a divine opportunity to gain insight. The first thing may catch you off guard, but the second one, that's on you. God's expectation is that you will use the wisdom gained from the first experience to navigate future challenges with discernment and strength. The Apostle Paul tells us in the book of Ephesians to walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time. This means that we must be vigilant, constantly assessing our experiences and learning from them. A wise man is not stung twice because he understands that the lesson in pain is the gateway to wisdom. He recognizes that every sting is a teacher, every wound is a lesson, and every scar is a reminder not to fall into the same trap again. But wisdom is more than just knowledge, it's applied knowledge. It's not enough to know that the hole contains a sting. You must also take deliberate action to avoid it. Too many of us, despite knowing the dangers, return to the same situations, the same relationships, the same environments that caused us harm, hoping for a different outcome. That, my friends, is not wisdom, that is folly. God has given us the spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. That sound mind is the seat of your discernment, your ability to judge rightly and to make decisions that lead you away from the sting. Use it. Don't allow the enemy to deceive you into thinking that you will find comfort or success in places where you've only found pain. Trust in the lessons God has taught you and let them guide your steps. Remember, the sting is not meant to paralyze you, but to propel you. It's not meant to defeat you, but to develop you. A man who learns from his stings is a man who walks in the wisdom of God. And when you walk in wisdom, you walk in victory. So let the sting be a one-time event. Learn, grow, and move forward with the confidence that God's wisdom will lead you into greater heights and deeper understanding. Learning from past experiences is not merely about reflecting on what went wrong, but about embracing the opportunity for growth and transformation that these experiences present. Every challenge, every setback, and every failure is a chance to gain invaluable insights. When we face difficulties and endure pain, it is not without purpose. These experiences serve as divine teachers, offering us lessons that can guide us away from repeating the same mistakes. Consider the idea that God, in His infinite wisdom, uses our experiences to mold us into individuals who are capable of discerning the path to success and fulfillment. Each time we encounter a problem or a setback, it's as if God is asking us, what will you learn from this? The goal is not to remain ensnared by the same issues, but to extract the wisdom needed to avoid those pitfalls in the future. When you learn from past experiences, you begin to see patterns and recognize the signs that precede certain outcomes. This recognition enables you to make better choices and avoid situations that lead to negative results. It's about understanding the nature of the problem and applying that understanding to navigate future challenges with greater clarity and effectiveness. God's intention is for us to grow stronger and wiser through our experiences. By reflecting on what went wrong and why, we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and our circumstances. This insight empowers us to approach similar situations with new strategies and a more informed perspective. It transforms our setbacks into stepping stones, turning our past mistakes into future successes. Learning from the past also involves letting go of regrets and using the lessons learned to fuel our progress. It's about acknowledging the sting of past failures, but refusing to be defined or defeated by them. Instead, we allow these experiences to refine our character and strengthen our resolve. Ultimately, when we learn from our past experiences, we align ourselves with the divine purpose and wisdom that God has for us. We become equipped to navigate life with a heightened sense of awareness, prepared to avoid the same pitfalls and make choices that lead us closer to our destiny. Divine wisdom is the profound insight that comes from God, which transcends human understanding and illuminates the path to making sound decisions. It is not merely about knowing facts or having intellectual knowledge, but about possessing a deep spiritual understanding that guides our actions and choices. When we speak of divine wisdom, we are referring to the kind of insight that aligns with God's will and purpose for our lives. This wisdom is a gift from God, granted to us through prayer, reflection, and a relationship with Him. It helps us see beyond the immediate and the obvious, allowing us to discern the deeper truths of our experiences. Divine wisdom enables us to understand the lessons embedded in our challenges and to apply those lessons in ways that prevent us from repeating the same mistakes. When we are endowed with divine wisdom, we are equipped to approach situations with a perspective that is both strategic and compassionate. We learn to evaluate our past experiences not as isolated incidents, but as part of a larger narrative that God is weaving in our lives. This perspective helps us recognize patterns, understand the motives behind our actions, and make decisions that align with our highest values and God's purpose. Divine wisdom also empowers us to act with discernment in the face of adversity. It teaches us to identify and avoid the pitfalls that once ensnared us, guiding us to navigate life's complexities with grace and effectiveness. This wisdom is not static but dynamic. It grows and evolves as we continue to seek God's guidance and apply His principles in our lives. Furthermore, divine wisdom brings clarity and peace in times of uncertainty. When we are faced with difficult decisions or challenging circumstances, this wisdom provides the assurance that we are making choices aligned with God's plan for us. It reassures us that the lessons learned from past experiences are being used to build a stronger, more resilient foundation for our future. In essence, divine wisdom transforms our approach to life's challenges. It turns the sting of past mistakes into a source of strength and insight. By embracing this wisdom, we are better equipped to avoid falling into the same traps and to move forward with confidence, knowing that we are guided by a higher understanding and purpose. Pain, often seen as an unwelcome visitor, holds a profound role in our personal development and growth. It serves as a powerful teacher, revealing truths and offering lessons that comfort and ease cannot. When we encounter pain, whether through loss, failure, or betrayal, it forces us to confront our vulnerabilities and examine the nature of our choices. This form of teaching is not about glorifying suffering, but understanding its value in shaping our character and guiding us toward wisdom. Pain strips away illusions and confronts us with reality, compelling us to evaluate our decisions and behaviors with greater honesty. It challenges us to reflect deeply on what went wrong and why, pushing us to grow beyond our previous limitations. The lessons learned through pain are often the most impactful and enduring. They resonate with us because they arise from real, lived experiences. When we experience pain, we gain clarity about our values, our strengths, and our areas for improvement. It's through these intense moments that we develop resilience, learn to manage our emotions, and acquire the wisdom needed to navigate future challenges more effectively. Pain also serves to recalibrate our perspectives. It forces us to reassess our priorities and understand what truly matters in our lives. Through the struggle, we become more attuned to the areas where we need to change and grow. We learn to make better decisions, avoid previous mistakes, and approach future situations with a newfound sense of discernment. Moreover, the pain that we endure can build empathy and compassion for others. When we have experienced hardship ourselves, we are better equipped to understand and support those who are going through similar struggles. This connection to others enriches our relationships and fosters a deeper sense of community and solidarity. Ultimately, pain as a teacher offers a path to transformation. It helps us to see beyond immediate discomfort and recognize the long-term benefits of overcoming adversity. By embracing the lessons that pain brings, we move closer to becoming the individuals God intends us to be. We emerge from these experiences not only wiser, but more resilient, equipped to face future challenges with greater strength and insight. In essence, pain is not just a random or cruel force, but a purposeful guide that helps us navigate the journey of life with deeper understanding and growth. Embracing this perspective allows us to turn the sting of past experiences into a powerful source of wisdom and strength. Applying knowledge goes beyond merely acquiring information. It involves actively using what we've learned to make informed decisions and avoid repeating past mistakes. It is one thing to understand the principles and lessons gleaned from our experiences, but it is another to integrate these insights into our daily lives and choices. When we apply knowledge, we transform theoretical understanding into practical wisdom. It means taking the lessons learned from previous challenges and deliberately incorporating them into our actions. This application of knowledge is crucial for growth because it ensures that our experiences lead to meaningful change rather than mere repetition of the same errors. Consider how applying knowledge involves recognizing patterns and anticipating potential pitfalls. For example, if we faced a particular challenge or failure, the insight gained from that experience should inform our future decisions. We begin to identify warning signs and understand how to navigate similar situations more effectively. This proactive approach helps us steer clear of the same issues that caused us trouble in the past. Moreover, applying knowledge requires us to be intentional in our actions. It's about making conscious choices that reflect the wisdom we've acquired. Instead of reacting impulsively or making decisions based on old habits, we use our understanding to guide us towards better outcomes. This deliberate approach helps us break free from negative cycles and move forward with a renewed sense of purpose. In practical terms, applying knowledge also means seeking continuous improvement. It's not enough to learn from a single experience. We must remain open to new insights and adapt our strategies as we grow. This ongoing application of knowledge helps us stay ahead of challenges and navigate life's complexities with greater skill and confidence. Furthermore, applying knowledge involves sharing what we've learned with others. By teaching and guiding those around us, we extend the benefits of our experiences and contribute to the collective wisdom of our communities. This act of sharing not only reinforces our own understanding, but also empowers others to avoid similar pitfalls and succeed in their own journeys. Ultimately, the application of knowledge is a dynamic process that involves reflection, intention, and action. It ensures that the lessons learned from past experiences are not wasted but are actively used to enhance our decision-making and personal growth. By applying our knowledge in meaningful ways, we avoid falling into the same traps and move forward with the confidence that comes from wisdom and understanding. Vigilance and discernment are essential qualities that enable us to navigate life with wisdom and avoid the pitfalls that ensnared us in the past. To be vigilant means to be watchful and attentive, constantly alert to potential dangers and opportunities. It requires a heightened sense of awareness and the ability to recognize the subtle signs that precede challenges or setbacks. Being vigilant is not about living in fear or paranoia, but about maintaining a proactive stance toward our environment and circumstances. It involves keeping a close watch on our surroundings, our relationships, and our own behavior to ensure that we do not fall into the same traps that have caused us trouble before. This level of attentiveness allows us to identify patterns and make adjustments before minor issues escalate into major problems. Discernment, on the other hand, is the ability to judge wisely and make sound decisions based on insight and understanding. It goes hand in hand with vigilance, as it involves analyzing the information we gather and applying it in a thoughtful and deliberate manner. Discernment helps us to see beyond surface appearances and assess situations with clarity and depth. It allows us to differentiate between genuine opportunities and potential dangers, guiding us to make choices that align with our goals and values. To cultivate vigilance and discernment, we must develop a disciplined approach to self-awareness and critical thinking. This means regularly reflecting on our experiences, analyzing our responses to various situations, and seeking feedback from trusted sources. By engaging in this reflective process, we enhance our ability to anticipate challenges and make informed decisions. Additionally, prayer and seeking divine guidance play a crucial role in developing these qualities. Through prayer, we invite God's wisdom into our decision-making process, allowing His insight to illuminate our path and sharpen our discernment. This spiritual connection provides us with a greater sense of purpose and direction, reinforcing our vigilance and helping us to navigate life's complexities with confidence. In practice, vigilance and discernment enable us to avoid repeating past mistakes by alerting us to potential risks and guiding us to make better choices. They empower us to recognize and seize opportunities for growth while steering clear of pitfalls that could lead us back into the same traps. By embracing these qualities, we ensure that our experiences contribute to our personal development rather than simply becoming repetitive cycles of error and recovery. Ultimately, vigilance and discernment are not just reactive traits, but proactive tools that help us live with intention and foresight. They allow us to apply the lessons learned from our past experiences in a way that promotes growth and prevents us from being stung twice by the same hole. Through vigilant awareness and discerning judgment, we navigate life with greater wisdom and resilience, advancing toward a more fulfilling and purposeful existence. God's expectation for us extends beyond mere survival or passive existence. It encompasses growth, learning, and transformation. When we face challenges and endure difficulties, it is not simply to test our endurance, but to cultivate a higher level of understanding and maturity. God's expectation is that we will take the lessons learned from these experiences and apply them in such a way that we become stronger, wiser, and more aligned with His purpose for our lives. God expects us to grow through our experiences. Each setback or failure is an opportunity for development. It is not His will for us to be trapped in repetitive cycles of error and recovery. Instead, He desires that we learn from our past mistakes, refine our character, and move forward with increased wisdom and resilience. This growth is a reflection of our ability to align ourselves more closely with His divine plan and to navigate life's challenges with grace and purpose. Moreover, God's expectation is for us to use our experiences to guide others. The wisdom we gain from overcoming difficulties is not solely for our benefit, but is meant to be shared. By applying what we've learned and helping others avoid similar pitfalls, we fulfill a broader role in His plan. Our experiences become a testimony of His guidance and a source of encouragement for those around us. God also expects us to exercise discernment and make intentional choices based on the wisdom we have gained. It is not enough to simply be aware of the lessons learned. We must actively apply them in our decision-making process. This means being vigilant and thoughtful about the choices we make, ensuring that we do not repeat past mistakes. Through intentional action, we demonstrate our commitment to living in accordance with His will and purpose. In addition, God's expectation involves recognizing the purpose behind our struggles. He does not subject us to difficulties for their own sake, but to refine us and prepare us for greater purposes. Understanding that our trials have a divine purpose helps us to approach them with a sense of hope and expectancy. We can trust that each challenge is a step toward a more profound understanding of our purpose and a closer alignment with His plan. Ultimately, God expects us to emerge from our experiences not only with greater wisdom, but also with a renewed commitment to His guidance. He desires that we avoid falling into the same traps, using the lessons of the past to forge a path toward a more fulfilling and purposeful life. By meeting these expectations, we honor His design for our lives and walk in the assurance that His plans for us are filled with hope and promise. Avoiding folly is about making conscious, deliberate choices that prevent us from falling into the same traps that caused us trouble in the past. It's a commitment to wisdom and discernment, ensuring that we do not repeat the errors that led to previous difficulties. Folly, in this context, represents the act of disregarding the lessons learned from past experiences and thereby setting ourselves up for repeated failure. To avoid folly, we must first understand the nature of the mistakes that led to our previous setbacks. This involves a thorough examination of our past decisions, behaviors, and the circumstances that contributed to our difficulties. By analyzing what went wrong, we gain insight into the patterns and warning signs that should alert us to potential risks. This self-awareness is crucial in preventing the recurrence of the same issues. Avoiding folly also requires a proactive approach to decision-making. It's not enough to simply acknowledge past mistakes. We must actively apply the lessons learned to our current choices. This means being vigilant about the situations we enter, the relationships we foster, and the decisions we make. By applying our acquired wisdom, we can navigate new challenges more effectively and avoid the pitfalls that once ensnared us. Furthermore, avoiding folly involves seeking counsel and guidance from trusted sources. Sometimes our own perspective may be limited or clouded by emotions. By consulting with wise mentors, spiritual leaders, or advisors, we gain additional insights that can help us make sound decisions and avoid repeating past mistakes. This external guidance complements our own understanding and provides a broader perspective on how to proceed. Another aspect of avoiding folly is cultivating a mindset of continuous learning and growth. Even when we believe we have learned from our past experiences, there is always room for further development. By staying open to new knowledge and remaining humble about our limitations, we prevent ourselves from becoming complacent. This attitude helps us remain vigilant and adaptable, ready to adjust our strategies as needed. In addition, avoiding folly involves setting clear goals and maintaining a sense of purpose. When we have a well-defined vision for our lives, we are less likely to be swayed by distractions or fall into old patterns of behavior. A clear sense of purpose helps us make decisions that are aligned with our long-term objectives and prevents us from repeating past mistakes. Ultimately, avoiding folly is about living with intention and purpose. It means taking the lessons learned from past experiences and applying them in a way that ensures we do not fall into the same traps. By being proactive, seeking guidance, staying humble, and maintaining a clear sense of purpose, we navigate life with greater wisdom and avoid the repeated stings of the same hole. This deliberate approach to living not only protects us from past errors, but also paves the way for a more successful and fulfilling future. Using the mind God gave us involves harnessing the full capacity of our intellect, discernment, and creativity to navigate life's challenges and make informed decisions. God has endowed each of us with a powerful mind, a tool designed for wisdom, understanding, and strategic thinking. This divine gift is not merely for processing information, but for applying knowledge in ways that align with His purpose and help us avoid repeating past mistakes. When we use our minds effectively, we engage in thoughtful reflection and analysis of our experiences. This means not just remembering what went wrong in the past, but actively understanding the underlying factors that contributed to our difficulties. By thoroughly examining these factors, we can identify patterns, anticipate potential issues, and develop strategies to avoid similar pitfalls in the future. Our minds are designed to learn from experience, and when we engage them fully, we turn past errors into valuable lessons for future success. Applying the mind God gave us also involves exercising critical thinking and sound judgment. It's about evaluating our options and making decisions based on reason and insight rather than impulse or emotion. This process requires us to weigh the potential outcomes of our choices, consider the advice of others, and reflect on how our decisions align with our long-term goals and values. By doing so, we avoid falling into the same traps and make choices that are more likely to lead us to positive results. Moreover, using our minds means embracing creativity and innovation. It's not enough to rely on old patterns or traditional approaches. We must also be open to new ideas and solutions. God has given us the ability to think creatively and adapt to changing circumstances. This creative thinking allows us to approach challenges from different angles, find new ways to solve problems, and avoid the mistakes of the past. By leveraging our creativity, we can discover opportunities and solutions that might not be immediately obvious. Additionally, using our minds involves seeking continuous growth and learning. We should view each experience, whether positive or negative, as an opportunity to expand our understanding and skills. This mindset of lifelong learning helps us stay adaptable and prepared for future challenges. By continually seeking knowledge and improving our abilities, we ensure that we are better equipped to handle new situations and avoid repeating past errors. In essence, using the mind God gave us is about actively engaging our intellectual and creative capacities to navigate life effectively. It means applying thoughtful analysis, exercising sound judgment, embracing creativity, and pursuing ongoing learning. By fully utilizing this divine gift, we can turn our past experiences into stepping stones for future success, ensuring that we do not fall into the same traps and instead move forward with wisdom and confidence. The sting of past mistakes and failures serves as a powerful catalyst for growth, propelling us toward greater self-awareness and resilience. While the experience of pain and discomfort is often unwelcome, it is in these moments of struggle that we are presented with the most profound opportunities for development. The discomfort we feel from past errors is not merely a source of suffering, but a transformative force that drives us to evolve and improve. When we encounter the sting of a setback, it forces us to confront the reality of our situation and reflect on what went wrong. This reflection is a crucial part of the growth process. It allows us to analyze the factors that contributed to our difficulties, understand the consequences of our actions, and recognize areas where we need to change. This deep introspection leads to valuable insights that can guide us in making better decisions and avoiding similar pitfalls in the future. The sting acts as a wake-up call, urging us to reassess our approach and strategies. It challenges us to step out of our comfort zones and explore new ways of thinking and behaving. This process of reassessment and adaptation is essential for personal and professional growth. By embracing the lessons embedded in our struggles, we can develop new skills, strengthen our character, and become more adept at handling future challenges. Moreover, the sting of past experiences helps us build resilience. It teaches us how to cope with adversity and bounce back from setbacks with renewed strength. Each experience of pain and recovery enhances our ability to endure and persevere, equipping us with the emotional and mental fortitude needed to face new obstacles. This resilience is a critical component of success, as it allows us to remain steadfast and focused even in the face of difficulties. The transformative power of the sting also fosters a deeper sense of empathy and understanding. When we have experienced hardship ourselves, we develop a greater appreciation for the struggles of others. This empathy enriches our relationships and enables us to offer support and encouragement to those who are facing similar challenges. By turning our own pain into a source of compassion, we contribute positively to the lives of others and build a sense of community and connection. In essence, the sting of past mistakes is not an end, but a beginning, a catalyst for growth and transformation. It drives us to reflect, adapt, and develop resilience, ultimately leading us to become more capable and insightful individuals. By embracing the lessons learned from our experiences, we harness the power of these challenges to propel us toward a more fulfilling and purposeful future. The sting of past mistakes serves as a potent catalyst for personal growth and transformation. Although the experience of pain and failure is often uncomfortable, it is within these moments of difficulty that we are presented with invaluable opportunities to evolve. The discomfort we feel is not simply an unfortunate byproduct of our errors, but a transformative force that can lead us to a deeper understanding of ourselves and a more enlightened approach to life. When we experience the sting of a setback, it compels us to reflect critically on what went wrong. This reflection is crucial because it helps us dissect the events and decisions that led to our difficulties. By analyzing our actions and their outcomes, we uncover the underlying causes of our mistakes and gain insights into what we need to change. This process of reflection allows us to learn from our experiences, ensuring that we do not repeat the same errors in the future. The pain of past experiences acts as a powerful motivator for change. It disrupts our status quo and forces us to question our methods and approaches. This disruption can be unsettling, but it also opens the door to new possibilities and ways of thinking. It encourages us to step out of our comfort zones, explore alternative solutions, and develop new strategies. Through this process of exploration and adaptation, we grow stronger and more capable, better equipped to handle future challenges. Moreover, the sting of failure fosters resilience. Each time we endure and overcome a setback, we build our capacity to face adversity with courage and determination. This resilience is not just about enduring hardship, but about emerging from it with a renewed sense of purpose and strength. The ability to bounce back from difficulties and persist in the face of challenges is a critical component of long-term success and personal development. In addition, the sting of past mistakes enhances our empathy and compassion. When we have experienced hardship ourselves, we gain a greater appreciation for the struggles of others. This empathy allows us to connect with others on a deeper level, offer genuine support, and provide encouragement to those who are navigating their own difficulties. Our personal growth through pain becomes a source of strength and compassion that we can extend to those around us. Ultimately, the sting of past mistakes is a catalyst for profound growth and transformation. It pushes us to reflect, adapt, and develop resilience, leading us to become more self-aware and capable individuals. By embracing the lessons embedded in our struggles and applying them to our future endeavors, we harness the power of these experiences to drive us toward a more successful and fulfilling life. The key is not to avoid the sting, but to embrace it as a vital part of our journey toward growth and excellence. Walking in victory means living a life where past mistakes do not define us, but instead become stepping stones toward a more triumphant and purposeful existence. It is about embracing the lessons learned from previous challenges and using them to propel ourselves forward with confidence and strength. To walk in victory is to adopt a mindset that acknowledges our experiences, applies the wisdom gained, and moves forward with a renewed sense of purpose. Victory is not merely about achieving success, but about how we handle setbacks and transform them into opportunities for growth. When we walk in victory, we shift our perspective from focusing on past failures to celebrating the progress we have made. Each challenge we overcome becomes a testament to our resilience and ability to rise above difficulties. This victorious mindset empowers us to face future obstacles with optimism and courage, knowing that we have the tools and insights to navigate them effectively. Walking in victory also involves embracing a sense of purpose and direction. It is about setting clear goals and aligning our actions with our core values and aspirations. When we understand our purpose and commit to it, we are better equipped to make decisions that reflect our true intentions. This clarity helps us avoid repeating past mistakes by guiding us toward choices that support our long-term objectives and align with our vision for success. Furthermore, walking in victory requires us to cultivate self-discipline and perseverance. It is not enough to simply learn from past experiences. We must actively apply those lessons in our daily lives. This involves maintaining a disciplined approach to our goals, staying focused on our path, and persevering through challenges. By developing these qualities, we ensure that we do not fall into the same traps that hindered us in the past, but instead move forward with determination and resilience. Victory is also about celebrating our achievements and acknowledging our growth. Recognizing and appreciating the progress we have made reinforces our sense of accomplishment and motivates us to continue striving for excellence. By celebrating our victories, both big and small, we build confidence and reinforce our belief in our ability to overcome future challenges. Additionally, walking in victory involves sharing our success and experiences with others. By offering support, encouragement, and guidance to those who may be facing similar struggles, we extend the impact of our victories beyond ourselves. This act of sharing not only reinforces our own success, but also contributes to the growth and empowerment of others, creating a positive ripple effect in our communities. Ultimately, walking in victory is about embracing the transformative power of our experiences and using them to forge a path toward a fulfilling and purposeful life. It means applying the lessons learned from past mistakes, staying focused on our goals, and celebrating our progress. By adopting this victorious mindset, we move forward with confidence, resilience, and a sense of purpose, ensuring that we do not fall into the same traps, but instead achieve new heights of success and fulfillment. In conclusion, the principle that a man is not stung twice from the same hole serves as a powerful reminder of the transformative potential inherent in our experiences. It emphasizes the importance of learning from our past mistakes and using those lessons as catalysts for growth. By embracing the sting of our failures, we gain the wisdom and resilience needed to navigate future challenges with greater insight and confidence. Through reflection, vigilance, and the application of divine wisdom, we can ensure that our past experiences lead to meaningful progress rather than repeated errors. The sting of past mistakes becomes a teacher, guiding us toward a path of continuous improvement and personal development. By harnessing the full capacity of our minds, exercising discernment, and walking in victory, we transform our setbacks into stepping stones toward a more purposeful and successful life. As we move forward, let us commit to applying the lessons learned from our past, embracing the growth that comes from our struggles, and walking confidently in the knowledge that we are equipped to overcome any challenge. By doing so, we not only avoid falling into the same traps, but also pave the way for a future filled with greater achievements and fulfillment. Let us honor the wisdom gained from our experiences and walk forward with the assurance that we are empowered to create a life marked by triumph and purpose.